तपाईहरु सम्पूर्णमा फेरि पनि स्वागत छ हाम्रो च्यानल EOS इन्जिनियरिङ अन स्क्रिनमा। आजको यस भिडियोबाट हामी च्याप्टर 2 अफ इन्जिनियरिङ इकोनोमिक्स सुरु गर्नेछौँ। च्याप्टर 2 इन्ट्रेस्ट एन्ड टाइम भ्यालु अफ मनी। Introduction to time value of money. The idea that a rupees today worth more than a rupees in the future because the rupees today can earn interest. So it is defined as time value of money is the time dependent value of money stemming both from changes in purchasing power of money, that is inflation and deflation, and from the real earning potential of alternative investment over time. Since money has the ability to earn interest, its value increases with time. Hence, it is the relationship between interest and time. And the purchasing power is defined as the value of a currency expressed in terms of the amount of goods or services that one unit of money can buy is called purchasing power. And as time lapses, purchasing power of money is reduced. And this graph shows the relation between time and time value of money. That is, the graph is time versus value of money. The next term here is simple interest. Simple interest is interest earned on only the principal amount during each interest period. In other words, with simple interest, the interest earned during each interest period does not earn additional interest in the remaining periods, even though you don't withdraw it. In general, for a deposit of P dollars at a simple interest rate of R for N periods, the total interest earned would be R into P into N. Compound interest. When the interest earned in each period is calculated on the basis of the total amount at the end of the previous period, and this total amount includes the original principal plus the accumulated interest that has been left in the account, is called compound interest. So the total amount at the end of N period when some P is deposited at the interest rate of I is future worth R is equal to P into 1 plus I to the power N. And the next term here is nominal and effective interest rate. Nominal र effective interest rate चाहिँ तपाईको एक्जाम पोइन्ट अफ भ्यू लिएर र नलेजको हिसाबले पनि एकदमै इम्पोर्टेन्ट छ. So an interest rate takes two forms, nominal interest rate and effective interest rate. The nominal interest rate does not take into account the compounding period, and the effective interest rate does take the compounding period into account. And thus it is a more accurate measure of interest charges. A statement that the interest rate is 10% means that interest rate is 10% per year compounded annually. 10% per year compounded annually. In this case, the nominal annual interest rate is 10% and the effective annual interest rate is also 10%. However, if compounding is more frequent than once per year, then the effective interest rate will be greater than 10%. The more often compounding occurs, the higher the effective interest rate is. So, the relationship between nominal annual and effective annual interest rate is I is equal to 1 plus R divided by M whole to the power M minus 1, where IA is the effective annual interest rate, R is the nominal annual interest rate, and M is the number of compounding periods per year. Remember, here M is number of compounding periods per year, because the R here is nominal annual interest rate and IA is the effective annual interest rate. Let's look example. A finance company charges 21% interest per year compounded monthly. What effective annual interest rate does the company charge? Here 21% interest per year. It is R, that is nominal annual interest rate, and the interest is compounded monthly. That means M is 12 months per year. And what effective annual interest rate does the company charge? By using this relation, IA is equal to 1 plus R divided by M to the power M minus 1. R is 0.21 and M is 12. So IA is 23.14%. It may be desired to find the effective interest rate for a period other than annual. And the next case here is, it may be desired to find the effective interest rate for a period other than annual. In this case, adjust the period for R and M is needed. For example, if the effective interest rate per semi-annual period every 6 months is desired, then R is equal to nominal interest rate per 6 months. In previous case, R is nominal interest rate per year, that is annual interest rate. And M here is number of compounding periods per 6 months. In previous case, M is number of compounding periods per 12 months, that is per year. And the effective interest rate ISA per semi-annual period is calculated by using ISA is equal to 1 plus R by M to the power M minus 1. And only the difference here is value of R and value of M is changes if the effective interest rate for a period other than annual period is desired. Let's look at an example. Question number 1. If a lender charges 12% interest compounded quarterly, what effective annual interest rate is the lender charging? Here, lender charges 12% interest. That is, 12% is nominal interest rate per year. And here interest is compounded quarterly. That means M is equal to number of compounding period is only 4. Because the value of R 12% is nominal interest rate per year and the value of M number of compounding periods per year is 4 because the interest is compounded quarterly. And the effective annual interest rate is IA is equal to 1 plus value of R is 0.12 and value of M is 4. Why? Because the compounded quarterly. And minus 1. And after solving, we get IA is equal to 12.55%. And let's look example question number 2. If a lender charges 12% interest compounded monthly, what is the effective interest rate per quarter? Here, 12% is R, that is nominal interest rate per year, compounded monthly. What is the effective interest rate per quarter? So we have to adjust value of R and M is needed. So the value of R for the case of effective interest rate per quarter, we have to divide 12% by 4. Why? Because we have to calculate effective interest rate per quarter. र यस खालको क्वेसनमा तपाईले सबभन्दा सुरुमा R को भ्यालुलाई एडजस्ट गर्नुपर्छ। यहाँनिर 12% इन्ट्रेस्ट भनेको पर इयर हो अथवा पर एनुअल हो र हामीलाई चाहिएको छ इफेक्टिभ इन्ट्रेस्ट रेट पर क्वार्टरमा। सो R is equal to 12 divided by 4, that is 3%, that is R is equal to 0.03। यहाँनिर 0.03 युज गरिरहेका छौँ हामीले। एन्ड द भ्यालु अफ M इज नम्बर अफ कम्पाउन्डिङ पिरियड्स पर क्वार्टर। यहाँनिर कम्पाउन्डेड मन्थली हो र हामीलाई इफेक्टिभ इन्ट्रेस्ट रेट निकाल्नु परिरहेको छ पर क्वार्टरमा। भनेपछि पर क्वार्टरमा कम्पाउन्डेड मन्थली हुँदाखेरि M को भ्यालु नम्बर अफ कम्पाउन्डिङ पिरियड्स पर क्वार्टर, द्याट इज M इज इक्वल टु 3। सो बाई युजिङ above relation, here nominal interest rate per quarter is 3% and there are 3 sub periods in a quarter. So I is equal to 1 plus R by M power M minus 1, R is 0.03 and M is 3, and after calculation we get 3.03. And the next term is continuous compounding. Continuous compounding can be thought of as making compounding period infinite small. Here, cash flows occurs at discrete intervals, but it is compounded continuously. Therefore, it can be achieved by taking limit of M, that is number of compounding periods in a year, to infinity. So by using relation I is equal to 1 plus R by M to the power M minus 1, and limit is taken here for M, that is limit M tends to infinity, and after calculation we get I is equal to e to the power R minus 1. Here e is exponential and it is expressed in equation number 1, or ER is equal to 1 plus I. Now we have compounding formula for future growth. F is equal to P into 1 plus I to the power N, and as per this relation we can replace 1 plus I with e to the power R. So future growth F is equal to P into e to the power Rn, and this relation can be expressed in this way. F is equal to P bracket F slash P comma R percent comma N. Here R is used to denote the nominal rate and the use of continuous compounding. And the next term is economic equivalence. The process of comparing two different cash amounts at different points in time is called economic equivalence. It indicates that different amount of money at different time periods are equivalent by considering the time value of money. Different sums of money at different times are equal in economic value. Calculation for determining the economic effects of one or more cash flows are based on the concept of economic equivalence. Economic equivalence refers to the fact that cash flow, whether a single payment or a series of payment, can be converted to an equivalent cash flow at any point of time. The equivalent value of an amount that is borrowed now at future time period at a given interest rate depends on the type of interest, whether simple or compound, and the different loan repayment arrangement like payment of accumulated interest annually and the principal at the end of the stipulated interest periods, or payment of both the principal and interest at the end interest periods, or payment of uniform amounts annually that comprises a portion towards the payment of principal amount and remaining for the accumulated interest rate throughout the interest period. So the summary here is calculation for the determining the economic effects of various types of cash flow are based on the concept of economic equivalence, where the economic equivalence is the process of comparing two different cash amounts at different points in time and it is the basis for comparison of different cash amounts at different points of time. For example, we could find the equivalent future value of F or a present amount P at interest rate I at period N, or we could determine the equivalent present value of P of N number of equal payment A. यहाँनिर अलिकति बुझ्न गाह्रो भइरहेको हुनसक्छ यो सेन्टेन्स र इकोनोमिक इक्विभ्यालेन्सको सम्बन्धमा। नेक्स्ट भिडियोहरूमा चाहिँ यो कुरा अलिकति डिटेल आउनेछ, त्यसमा चाहिँ तपाईहरुलाई पक्का पनि सजिलो हुनेछ। लेट्स लुक एट सम एक्जाम्पल्स। क्वेशन नम्बर 1. In 1626, Peter of the Dutch West Company paid $24 to purchase Manhattan Island in Newark from the Chinese. In retrospect, if Peter had invested $24 in a saving account that earned 8.8% interest rate, how much would it be worth in 2007? Here P is $24, I is 8% per year, and number of year N is equal to 381, that is 2007 minus 1626. And now we have to find future worth F based on 8% interest rate, simple interest. That is F is equal to P into 1 plus I into N, and P is $24, 1 plus I is 0.08, and N is 381, and the future worth value is 755 when interest rate is simple. But if we have to calculate compound interest, that is 8% compound interest, future worth F is equal to P into 1 plus I to the power N. That is P is $24, 1 plus I is 0.08, and power N, that is 381, and the value of future worth F is this. Let's look at question number 2. Suppose you have invested ₹1,000 at present. How long does it take for your investment to double if interest rate is 8% compounded annually? Let investment F will become 2P after n years. That is F is equal to 2P, where F is future worth and P is present worth. Using the relation F is equal to P into 1 plus I to the power N, F is 2P. So we replace F with 2P is equal to P1 to the power 1 plus I to the power N, and after calculation we get N is equal to 9 years. So with 8% interest rate, investment will be double after 9 years. And the next question here is effective interest rate and nominal interest rate. Find the effective interest rate when nominal interest rate of 18% per year and compounding is monthly, daily, hourly and continuously. Remember here 18% per year is nominal interest rate per annual, that is per year, and we have to calculate effective interest rate annually. But only here the difference is compounding is monthly, daily, hourly and continuously. So the value of R for all cases are same, that is 18%, because we are going to calculate effective interest rate per annually, and 18% is nominal interest rate per annually. Just the difference is compounding period. Okay, so when compounding is monthly, that is I is equal to 1 plus R by M to the power M minus 1, R is 0.18, and M is number of compounding per year. that is 12 months per year. So value of m here is 12. So we get I is equal to 19.561. And when compounding is daily, that is value of m is number of compounding period per year, that is 365, and after calculation we get 19.716. When the compounding is hourly, m is number of hour per year, that means 365 into 24, so we get 19.71. And when the compounding is continuously, by using above equation number 1, that is I is equal to e to the power r minus 1, and we get 19.7217. Right? And the next topic is development of interest formula. र यो टपिक सँगसँगै च्याप्टर 2 को बाँकी रहेको पार्ट चाहिँ हामी नेक्स्ट भिडियोमा कन्टिन्यू गर्नेछौँ। थ्याङ्क यू।